Stop. Before you take another bite of that sweet fruit sitting on your breakfast plate, you need to hear this. Because what I'm about to tell you could very well change the way you look at one of the most innocent-looking foods on earth. It's something most of us grew up eating. We put it in smoothies, on top of oatmeal, in fruit salads, and even hand it to our grandchildren, thinking we're doing the right thing. But here's the truth, especially if you're over the age of 70, that sweet, soft, seemingly harmless fruit might actually be shrinking your brain. Hello again, my dear friends. I'm Dr. Max, and if you're new to this space, welcome. If you've been here before, you already know, you're in the right place. I'm not here to scare you. I'm here to educate you, protect you, and walk with you through the confusing jungle that modern nutrition has become, especially for seniors like us. Because as we age, our bodies change, our brains shift, and what used to be healthy for us in our 30s or 40s may now quietly become dangerous in our 60s, 70s, and beyond. Now let me be clear. I'm not here to demonize fruit. Nature's candy has its place. But the reality is this: certain fruits, particularly when they're overly ripe or consumed frequently in excess, can actually accelerate cognitive decline in aging adults. And the worst part? We're not even warned about it. Let me tell you about one of my patients, Eleanor. A sweet 76-year-old widow who walked into my office 6 months ago complaining of brain fog. You know, that feeling when names slip your mind more often than usual, or you walk into a room and forget why. She was sharp as a tack just 2 years ago. A retired librarian. Loved crossword puzzles. But suddenly she was struggling with simple tasks, paying bills, remembering conversations. Her son grew concerned when she left the stove on overnight. That's when they came to see me. Naturally, we ran the full panel. Checked her thyroid, her vitamin B12, ran cognitive tests. Everything came back borderline normal. But something didn't sit right with me. Eleanor's decline was too sudden, too stark for her history. That's when I dug into her diet. And what I found shocked even me. Every single morning, without fail, she started her day with a large serving of sliced ripe bananas. Sometimes with honey. Sometimes blended in a smoothie. Every single morning. And here's where things got real. See, most people don't know this, but when bananas become very ripe, those soft, spotted bananas we often consider perfect for eating or baking, they undergo a biochemical transformation. Their starch converts almost entirely into sugar. Not just any sugar, but rapidly absorbable fructose and glucose. And while a younger body can usually handle that sugar spike, an aging brain simply cannot. Excessive fructose from overripe fruits and juices can increase inflammation in the hippocampus, causing structural changes and shrinking brain volume. In seniors, this sugar interferes with the brain's insulin response, leading to insulin resistance, also known as type 3 diabetes, which is a major driver of Alzheimer's disease. I remember sitting across from Eleanor and gently breaking this down for her. She was floored. But Dr. Max, it's just bananas, she said. I thought they were good for me. And you know what? I don't blame her. We've all been misled to think that all fruits are safe, always. But when it comes to aging brains, sugar is sugar, even if it comes wrapped in a peel. Now I want you to pause and ask yourself, what sweet fruits are you eating regularly? Are they high in fructose? Do you notice feeling foggy or slow after eating them? Have you been experiencing dips in energy, or struggling to recall simple information more than usual? You see, the body has a powerful way of sending warning signs, subtle whispers before the storm. That slight forgetfulness. That occasional dizziness. That afternoon crash. These aren't just old age. These are your body's distress signals. And if we ignore them, we end up walking blindly into chronic diseases that could have been prevented. The brain, which consumes 20% of body weight, thrives on stable blood sugar. Consuming high-sugar fruits, especially on an empty stomach, can cause cognitive decline in older adults. Studies from the Mayo Clinic show that even just 6 months of a high-fructose diet can cause significant shrinkage in critical brain areas. Back to Eleanor. Once we identified her banana habit as a potential trigger, we made some changes. I switched her morning routine. Replaced her ripe bananas with low-glycemic berries, like blueberries and raspberries, loaded with antioxidants but lower in sugar. We added healthy fats like walnuts, a spoon of flaxseed, and a boiled egg to keep her blood sugar stable. And within 6 weeks, she felt a shift. Her fog began to lift. Her son called me and said, "It's like I got my mom back." Look, I'm not here to banish bananas from the world. But I am here to tell you, the way you eat them, the ripeness, the timing, and what you combine them with, matters tremendously. And it's not just bananas. Grapes, mangoes, dates, all sweet fruits, carry the same risk if consumed improperly, especially as we age. So what can you do? That's what we're going to explore in the next section. Because knowing the problem is only half the battle. In the next segment, I'll walk you through the exact fruits you should favor, how to balance them with brain-protective nutrients, and the one antioxidant that may actually reverse early signs of brain shrinkage in seniors. So let's talk strategy. You now understand that the issue isn't necessarily the fruit itself, but how the body, especially the aging brain, responds to certain types of sugars. And as I said, that response shifts dramatically after 60, and even more so after 70. The first and most powerful thing you can do starting today: choose fruits that protect the brain instead of stressing it. Let's start with berries. In multiple longitudinal studies, particularly the famous Nurses' Health Study, older adults who consumed blueberries and strawberries at least twice per week had slower rates of cognitive decline, by as much as 2.5 years compared to those who didn't. That's like pressing pause on the brain aging clock. Why berries? Simple. They're rich in anthocyanins, powerful antioxidants that reduce inflammation, stabilize blood sugar, and repair damaged neurons. They don't cause dramatic blood sugar spikes. And unlike bananas or grapes, they don't overload the system with fructose. Now I know what some of you might be thinking, but Dr. Vale, I don't want to give up all the fruits I love. And listen, I'm not here to take away everything sweet in your life. But I am here to help you enjoy it wisely. So if you absolutely must enjoy a sweeter fruit, like a banana, there are 3 golden rules I want you to remember. Rule number 1, never eat it on an empty stomach. When you eat a sugary fruit first thing in the morning with nothing else in your belly, it causes an insulin and glucose surge that's extremely hard on the brain. Always pair sweet fruit with protein or fat, a handful of almonds, a boiled egg, or a scoop of Greek yogurt. That one small adjustment can reduce the glycemic load and protect your brain's delicate chemistry. Rule number 2, go green. When it comes to bananas, the greener they are, the better. Unripe bananas are higher in resistant starch and lower in free sugars. That resistant starch feeds beneficial gut bacteria, which plays a direct role in producing brain-calming neurotransmitters like serotonin and GABA. In fact, your gut produces over 90% of your body's serotonin. Protect your gut, protect your mood. Rule number 3, portion control. You don't need an entire mango in one sitting. A few slices, combined with chia seeds or a high-fiber meal, are more than enough to satisfy the craving without overwhelming the brain. Think of fruit as a complement to your meal, not the star of the show. Now let's get to something most doctors aren't talking about, the direct connection between sugar, fruit, and neuroinflammation in seniors. Neuroinflammation is the quiet flame that burns slowly inside the aging brain. It doesn't cause pain, so you don't feel it. But it eats away at your clarity, your memory, your balance. Over time, this inflammation begins to break down the blood-brain barrier, a natural filter designed to protect your brain from toxins. Once that barrier weakens, molecules that should never enter the brain, like advanced glycation end products, AGEs, from high-sugar foods, can slip through and trigger microglial cells, your brain's immune system. That's when the real damage begins. These microglia, meant to clean up debris, go into overdrive, attacking healthy neurons in the process. And guess what foods fuel this fire? Highly ripe, sugar-dense fruits like bananas, grapes, and even dried fruits like raisins or dates. Yes, even natural sugars can feed neuroinflammation if not balanced properly. This is why so many seniors experience what I call the slippery slope. It starts with occasional forgetfulness. Then they struggle to follow conversations. Then names slip away. And before you know it, a formal diagnosis is made, and it could have been avoided. Let's go back to Eleanor for a moment. I didn't just cut out the high-sugar fruits, we rebuilt her entire plate. We added wild-caught salmon twice a week, rich in DHA, a fatty acid that literally rebuilds the brain's gray matter. We included turmeric and black pepper, a combo shown to reduce amyloid plaque buildup in the brain. She drank hibiscus tea in the evenings, rich in flavonoids that reduce blood pressure and improve cerebral circulation. And I had her eat one Brazil nut a day, just one, which supplies selenium, a mineral essential for cognitive resilience. And you know what? She started writing again. Reading books again. Laughing more. Because that's the goal, my friends. Not just to survive aging, but to thrive in it. To stay sharp. Present. Connected to the people and memories that matter most. Now I want to speak directly to you. If you're over 70, I urge you to take inventory. Look in your kitchen right now. What fruits are you keeping on your counter? What are you reaching for during that afternoon snack? What are you blending into your smoothies? Don't be fooled by health fads that say, fruit is always good. That's outdated thinking. The body you had at 30 isn't the body you have at 70. Your pancreas doesn't secrete insulin the same way. Your liver processes fructose more slowly. And your brain? It's far more sensitive now. But here's the good news. Your brain has an incredible ability to heal. It's called neuroplasticity. Even in your 70s and 80s, your brain can form new connections, strengthen old ones, and rebuild itself, if you give it the right environment. That environment starts with food. And believe it or not, there are certain fruits that stimulate neurogenesis, the growth of new brain cells. Avocados, for instance. Technically a fruit, they're rich in healthy fats and vitamin E. They lower inflammation and increase blood flow to the brain. Pomegranates, another excellent choice, contain punicalagin, a compound shown to protect against oxidative stress in neurons. And citrus fruits, yes, lemons and oranges, contain flavonoids that boost cognition when consumed in moderation. It's not about avoiding fruit entirely. It's about being fruit-wise. There's one more thing I need to share before we move on. Something you probably haven't heard before, and it has to do with how your sense of sweetness changes as you age. After 60, our taste buds diminish in sensitivity. That means we don't perceive sweetness as strongly as we used to. So what do? We overcompensate. We eat more sweet food, pile on more sugar, lean toward the ripest fruits to feel satisfied. But that compensatory habit is what leads to trouble. It's like turning up the volume on a broken speaker. It doesn't improve the sound, it just creates more distortion. The key is to retrain your taste buds. And that begins by reducing your sugar load, not all at once, but gradually. Within 2 to 3 weeks of reducing sweet fruit intake, your brain begins to reset. Natural flavors start tasting sweeter. Your cravings diminish. Your energy stabilizes. And yes, your memory begins to sharpen. I'm going to walk you through an exact 7-day plan. A simple, senior-friendly fruit swap strategy that you can begin immediately. We'll cover what to eat, when to eat it, and how to combine it for maximum brain benefit. I'll also reveal one sweet fruit you should be eating more of, because it may actually reverse age-related memory loss when consumed in the right way. Now, as promised, let's get to your 7-day fruit swap brain protection plan. This is something I've tested in my clinic with hundreds of seniors. It's designed to do one thing: reverse the fruit-triggered brain fog loop that creeps in after 65. The goal is not just to remove the harmful patterns, but to gently rewire your habits toward brain-safe sweetness. Day 1 and 2, Awareness and Reduction. Start by writing down every fruit you eat in a day. Keep it simple: time, portion, and what you ate with it. You'd be surprised how often fruits sneak in. Fruit juices, fruit yogurts, banana slices in your cereal, raisins in trail mix. Don't judge it, just observe it. Now here's the crucial part: reduce your sweet fruit intake by 50% immediately. If you typically eat a whole banana in your morning oatmeal, switch to half. If you snack on grapes in the afternoon, reduce your portion and pair it with walnuts. The idea is to start lowering the glycemic burden on the brain without shocking your system. Day 3 and 4, the anti-inflammatory flip. Replace those sweeter fruits with brain-protective ones. Instead of a banana, go for blueberries or blackberries. Instead of mango, go for avocado slices with sea salt and a drizzle of olive oil. Instead of fruit juice, which often spikes glucose even more than soda, go for herbal teas with a wedge of lemon. You'll start noticing something fascinating here: your mental clarity may begin to improve. Most patients report that they feel less heavy in the head. Morning brain fog clears faster. Afternoon energy slumps begin to fade. That's your neurons breathing again. Day 5, gut-brain reset. Introduce one fermented food today to rebalance your gut microbiome. Why? Because your gut bacteria literally talk to your brain, and when you feed them the right prebiotic fruits, they respond with neuroprotective compounds. Here's what I recommend. Add 1/2 a green banana to a smoothie with spinach, almond butter, and unsweetened almond milk. Add a tablespoon of fermented sauerkraut or kefir to your lunch. Take 1 capsule of a quality probiotic or enjoy unsweetened Greek yogurt with cinnamon and flaxseed. This is where we shift from reduction to restoration. Day 6, introduce neuroprotective sweetness. Now comes the twist, reintroducing sweetness, but strategically. Here's the fruit I mentioned earlier, dark-skinned cherries. In studies published in the Journal of Nutrition, Health and Aging, tart cherry compounds showed promising effects on cognitive performance in older adults. They contain anthocyanins and melatonin, the former fights oxidative stress in the brain, and the latter improves sleep quality, which is directly tied to memory consolidation. Enjoy a small serving, about 1/2 cup, of fresh or frozen dark cherries after dinner. Not only will this satisfy your sweet tooth, it will help your brain detoxify and regenerate overnight. Day 7, integrate and balance. By now, your palate will have started to shift. You may find that your cravings for bananas or mangoes are reduced. That's good. You're not depriving yourself, you're rewiring your brain toward balance. Build your fruit intake around these pillars. Mornings, berry-focused or citrus fruits like grapefruit, in moderation, with protein. Afternoons, a few slices of avocado or a smoothie with green banana and fiber. Evenings, dark cherries or 1/2 a baked apple with cinnamon for a warm, gentle sweet fix. This isn't a crash diet. It's a reprogramming protocol. Now let's go deeper. Why does this even matter? Because after age 70, your brain is no longer protected by youth. The enzymes that help process sugar slow down. Insulin resistance increases in the hippocampus, the memory center. In some seniors, even a modest daily intake of high-sugar fruit can lead to microvascular damage in the brain. That's when you start forgetting names, struggling with word recall, misplacing objects. And yet, most people never connect these symptoms to their diet, let alone to fruit. You see, we've been conditioned since childhood to believe that fruit is nature's perfect food. And in many ways, it is, but not always for the aging brain. Especially not when it's overripe, genetically modified to be sugar-heavy, or consumed without balance. Let me share one more patient story. Arthur, 73, came to me with what he called mental slowness. He was a retired engineer, sharp all his life. But lately, he said, my brain feels like a foggy mirror. I'm there, but I'm not clear. He was eating healthy, or so he thought, fruit smoothie for breakfast, fruit salad for lunch, dried dates for snacks. All fruit. No balance. No fat, no protein, no fiber. We cut his fruit intake by 40%, removed all high fructose fruits like grapes, dates, and bananas, and added brain boosters like walnuts, turmeric, chia seeds, and leafy greens. Within 3 weeks, his fog began to lift. By week 6, he was reading full chapters of his engineering journals again, something he hadn't done in over a year. Now, you might be wondering, what if I've already done the damage? It's never too late. The brain, unlike what we used to believe, can regenerate. It can form new synapses. Neurons can recover when inflammation is reduced, when glucose levels are stabilized, and when oxidative stress is lowered. You just need to create the conditions for healing. That starts by rethinking what you put on your plate. I want you to remember this. The fruit you choose today can either feed your future or rob you of it. Every bite is a message to your body. It either says, heal, or harm. And after 70, those messages have more weight than ever before. So yes, bananas, grapes, and other sweet fruits might seem harmless. But in excess, and especially when consumed without proper context, they can quietly shrink your brain, cloud your clarity, and steal your memories one small bite at a time. But you can stop it. Right now. By applying what you've learned today, by taking back control of your plate, you're taking back control of your mind. And if no one has told you this yet today, let me be the one to say it. You deserve to stay sharp. You deserve to remember. You deserve to live fully, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, well into your 80s, 90s, and beyond. But it won't happen by accident. It happens by action. Small, consistent, daily action. Starting with what's in your fruit bowl. If you found this video helpful, please tap like, subscribe, and share it with someone who may be struggling. And remember, it's not just about living longer, it's about staying strong while you do it. Thanks for watching. Stay strong, stay safe, and see you in the next video.